Hello everyone, I am Apeksha and I welcome you back to TMR Talks. Today we are going to have a discussion about this company called as Anupam Rasayan, and it is planning to raise 760 crores from the markets through IPO, that is initial public offering. So we will be having this discussion in three parts. We will begin with understanding the business of the company, and then we will move on and talk about the broader perspective, that is the sectoral overview, and towards the end we will discuss the numbers, that is the financials. So let's try to understand what does the company do, what is its business model. Anupam Rasayan is engaged in the custom synthesis and manufacturing of specialty chemical. Now I just said specialty chemicals, and that is why it is important to understand what is the difference between a basic chemical and a specialty chemical. So a basic chemical is a high volume and low value product. So it is produced in high volumes and then it is sold to other industries for further processing. And there isn't any major product differentiation over here. But in the case of specialty chemical, they are sold on the basis of quality or utility or their end use. It actually provides a very specific attribute to the end product, and that is the reason it has to be produced in batches. A lot of research is involved while making specialty chemicals. So I'll give you a very basic example which will make you understand this. So say there is Dove and there is Lux. So both of them are soaps, right? But both of them are different because the specialty chemical which is used there gives them a different texture, color, fragrance. And hence, whenever there is a production of specialty chemical, what happens is it is done based on the requirement of the client. So suppose there is a company called as ABC and they have requirement of a certain specialty chemical. So they will come to Anupam Rasayan and they will explain the exact requirement. And then Anupam Rasayan will start the research and development, and it actually takes a very longer time to understand the requirement, then start the R&D, and finally to produce the chemical which is required, and hence it is a low volume product. Depending upon the requirement, it will have to be produced. So I believe now you have understood the concept of specialty chemical. So I would like to tell you what are the products that this company is into. So they are into life science related product, which includes your personal care, agrochemical, pharmaceutical. Under agrochemical they have like insecticides, fungicides, herbicides, and under other specialty chemical they have pigments and dyes and polymer additives. Now let's try to understand a little more about the products that they have manufactured till date or the kind of customers that they have, etc. These are the number of products that the company has formulated over the years. So from 15 in 2015 to 41 till the December 2020, they have increased their overall product portfolio. Plus their customers have also grown in numbers from 34 to 53 over the last 5 to 6 years. Now what happens is, here the company has to actually enter into longer agreements, long-term agreements with the customers, which ranges from 2 to 5 years, and these agreements are then again repeated by the customer, and they have a very strong relationship with the customer. They need to have that because like I told you, the entire process of acquiring the customer to then finalizing the deal, it takes around 12 to 24 months. So it is a very complex process, and hence they need to have the kind of strong relationship that this company has with their customers. This is how their geographical presence is. Approximately 60% revenue is coming from other countries, and they are now planning to specifically focus on the Japanese clients. So far we have understood the kind of products that the company is into, the customer relationship that they have, etc. Now it's time to speak a little about the industry, or we will have a look at overall how is the specialty chemical industry doing. So China is actually the largest chemical producer in the world, and India stands in the 6th position. Now in the global chemical industry, the share of specialty chemical is around 22%, and out of that 4 to 5% share is of India. Now what's happening is China is slowly and steadily making an exit due to the environmental concerns, and India is likely going to benefit out of it. So there are a few positive factors for us as a country. That is, there is low cost of labor, low manufacturing expenses, plus we have technically skilled labor, and importantly, India ranks amongst the top 10 countries in terms of research, which is very important. I explained to you at the start. Let's look at this chart. So the global specialty chemical market is also going to increase. If I were to specifically tell you about the agrochemical sector growth, it will grow at a 5.7 CAGR between 2019 to 2024. Also, look at the chart for the Indian markets, and specifically for agrochemical, it is going to go up by 9.2% CAGR from 2019 to 2024, which is a really good sign. The agrochemical market has a 19% share in the overall specialty chemical, and for dyes and pigments, there is 33%, which is a good sign since the company has been operating in these two domains. Now, let's talk about the third and the important part, which is the financial statement analysis. So the company has increased its revenues by 24% from FY18 to FY20. Plus the contribution from life science related chemicals is more as compared to other specialty. Actually, life science related is approximately 93% for December 2020. And mainly under that also the agrochemical part is roughly 60 to 65%. Talking about the EBITDA and PAT margins, these margins are really at a good level. But the debt to equity ratio, which you are seeing at the current level, it is going to reduce because the company is going to use 563 crores from the IPO proceeds of 760 crores for paying off the debt. The ROCE and ROE is at a really low level. Plus the PE is at 80, which is way higher than the industry PE of 42. Plus the post IPO PE is also coming at around 88. Now let's look at the peer comparison. So in this table, we can clearly see that this company is a very small player in the market, and hence we should not really get surprised by the 24% CAGR in the revenue that they have from FY18 to 20. Plus the R&D expenses for this company are pretty low, which is around 0.4% as of FY20. But for the other companies, for the industry average is around 3.5%. Then the company has the lowest EPS and the highest PE. Secondly, the return ratios aren't that great, ROCE and ROE. So although the business model is very attractive, there is a revenue stability, but the pricing is a very problematic pointer. Here are the few IPO details. So we have issue opening on 12th March and it will go on till 16th March. The issue size is 760 crores and the issue price is 553 to 555. So post IPO, the promoter shareholding is going to reduce to 65% from the current level of 75%. One more important pointer is that there was certain equity infusion done by the company in the year 2020. And at that point of time, the price that they had charged per share was in the bracket of 200 to 250. And right now what they are offering during the IPO is almost double the price, So this is really a point of concern. Also, ahead of IPO, the company has managed to raise 225 crores from the anchor investors. Now, talking about the conclusion, although the specialty chemical industry is in a sweet spot, plus the agrochemical segment is poised to grow, and the company is actually producing certain niche chemicals, etc. But the valuation of the company is not really good, and we believe you can avoid this IPO for now. So this is it from my end about this company. If you have any questions, queries, doubts, you can mention it in the comment section. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. We come up with videos related to financial statement analysis, economic analysis, IPO study, etc.